So is Broken Arrow, Steel Balalaika, and Slitherine making amends? I think they might be. And you know what? Let's just give them a chance because they've actually replied to a lot more of our questions. Now, for anyone out the loop, first of all, big news. It is now on discount mixed. Ouch. That is not a very good sign. But for anyone out the loop, basically Broken Arrow promised that they'd tell us the date of the release. They didn't. Then they just made an announcement of an announcement of an announcement. And they also promised to answer a lot of our questions. I'll summarize that in a bit. Answer all of our questions, but they didn't. And one of my questions, which was highly voted, was will the Barbarous be nerfed more? They didn't reply, which is really annoying. So let's have a look at what they did reply. Yeah, so the release date, they have finally confirmed, again, not a date, not an exact date, but again, a range of dates, which is, again, I don't understand why they couldn't have done that on Monday. So today is Thursday. Yeah, this has just been posted not too long ago. So why could they have not done that on Monday? I don't know what's going on in Slitherine. I don't think the company talks to each other in its internal departments that much either, to be honest. So we have the roadmap. Now, again, there's not really anything new here. We've seen this already. If you haven't seen this already, here you go. Enjoy your luck. Yeah, basically nothing has changed. Has been updated to, yeah, to updated to update our progress. Yeah, no, nothing's changed. Really, there's been minimal progress. Yeah, so the game is discounted from March the 19th, which is obviously today, which is why they've released this post just to, and extend to April the 6th. Now, okay, what are the odds that the Baltics update will be extended to, delayed to April the 6th? Who knows? Unexpected problems with the I just want to say a massive thank you for your support, love, and appreciation, especially you guys on Patreon, especially Dark Erica. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Voiceover is essentially the excuse that Broken Arrow is giving us for the delay. So again, this is from leaked information, public information that exists on the internet already. Most of the work has been in the game for the past 2 years, right? So the units, the models, etc., all these helicopters, tanks. Like I've previously released a short of Leopards, 2A7s. This is a 2A8 fighting T90s, and again, I've already released and leaked bits and bobs here and there. So again, none of this is news. And I think, from my understanding, the devs were pretty much ready to release this in January or February, latest. But here we are still in March, potentially even December. But here we are in March, and the best excuse that we have is that there's a voiceover issue, aka, I assume that means that recordings of Lithuanian, Estonian, and Latvian military units. Now, is that really a good enough excuse to delay the game? No, because if you think about it, if they're fighting together with Americans, they would try to communicate to Americans in English, right? Not American, before anyone starts. That's not a language. Yeah, exactly. So, is that really a good enough excuse to delay it? I mean, I'm sure they've got some voiceovers, and you know what? I'd rather English, American shouts rather than have this massive delay. So it is really, really poor. Right, we've got some patch notes though. Should we see? Update includes numeral exploits that have been fixed. Again, why is this not being a hot fix? God knows. I mean, game size has been reduced. That's actually quite nice. Good feature there. So if you do need to switch between a PTE, which is something we'll talk about later, and the vanilla or the prot version, as the guys like to call it, then that's going to take you a bit less time. Whoop-de-doo. Some quality of life. Streamer safe mode allows players to hide chat content to avoid potential... Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess I don't stream, so it doesn't really affect me. Cool. Okay, here we go, guys. This is where it starts to get a bit more interesting. And you do have to basically read line for line, because they really could make this a whole separate point. But no, they're just masking it inside this big section here. But this is pretty good. Okay, so latest dev diary. I haven't clicked on this yet, have I? No, I have. This is already covered. Yeah, no. How do I go back? Stand by. No, just another useless link that I've already covered in a different video. But yeah, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. So, emergency power. Sorry, paradrop, voice crack, whoopsie, paradrop. So that's actually really cool. What we've seen in the game, again, I had this leaked to me quite a long time ago, so there's no news there for me and for the regular viewers of this channel. But, you know, if you're just discovering me for the first time, then there we go. Essentially, the biggest problem is that, you know, vehicles get destroyed on the ground and infantry jump out as if, you know, tis but a scratch and they're absolutely fine. Well, it seems a bit nonsensical that planes and helicopters have this. Now, there's no mention of helicopters in here, but essentially, yeah, emergency paradrop, i.e. some infantry will be able to escape before the plane crashes, hopefully. So that could be really, really cool. So now you can, yeah, use paraplanes a bit more, which is really nice because I do so detest how useless paradrops are when you get above 1,000 elo or maybe even 500 elo. So currently, right, okay, public testing environment. Currently, I'm on the private testing environment, which essentially obviously looks at the new features, and it's basically like an closed beta testing of the future of Broken Arrow. Now, I can't actually tell you anything about that. I do have an NDA, and you know, yeah, there's leaks out there, and any leaks that I talk about are not from me; they're from other sources. Wink, wink, wink. Yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah, run my mouth too much here. Anyway, public test environment. Okay, so I'm on the private test environment. There's basically a lot of YouTubers, professional testers, lots and lots of different kinds of guys on there from lots of different countries as well, testing the game and the future of Broken Arrow. I can't tell you any details. What I can tell you is that it is pretty damn good. I think honestly the future of Broken Arrow is very bright. There's going to be a lot of good stuff. I think as well. I read somewhere else. So again, it's not a yeah. It's not a feature they've written up here, but they do mention something about tanks in a different post. Oh, there we go. Here we are. More accurate tank guns. Yeah, so tanks are going to get buffed. Howitzers and MLRS are going to be nerfed indeed. Infantry, medium heavy machine guns, rifle damage increase. Now, this is something I have been begging for a very long time. I really want HMGs, basically all machine guns, to be more effective. Marksman rifles do need a buff as well because machine guns on the battlefield are like, yeah, scarily effective. Obviously, yeah, for anyone who served, you don't need me to tell you. Cool. More soldiers in the squad means slightly more damage taken, and that is a good thing because obviously, like, the more people there are, the more likely a bullet is going to find a person, right? Whereas obviously a sniper team, when they're camouflaged, etc., you can spray and pray all day long, but you're not going to hit the sniper unless you've got a clear vision on him, which is unlikely, but that's okay. Right, that is really good changes here, and again, this isn't news to me, but it might be news to quite a few people, which is really good. Saves for solos, yeah. That's not going to happen anytime soon. Don't get your hopes up, guys. They do have extra people. They're recruiting devs, more devs to try and pump these outputs more often. And actually, do you know what? Let me just stick up for STB at least. I can't really stick up for Slitherine that much. I think they're not doing the best job, to put it mildly. But, you know, Slitherine is the producer, the publisher, and Steel Balalaika are the guys who actually came up with the game, and they're the devs behind it, trying to beaver away, trying to hammer it. And look, they are two different teams. You got to remember that. And honestly, I've got so much respect for the guys at STB. They play games with us. They interact with the fans. They do as much as they can, but sometimes that hands are tied by the publisher. So if you're gonna direct some anger, then yeah, put it towards the publishers because they potentially do deserve some of it. Not all of it, I'm sure. But yeah, that I know stuff which I can't tell you. But yeah, trust me on this one. Just take my word for it. Yeah, it is very disappointing. It is disappointing the disconnect between the organizations there. But yeah, the game is going to be fantastic. We're just going to have to like power through. And like I say, I think the devs, the guys who actually came up with the game from scratch, they're the ones who really care. You can see that they really are trying their best to make this fantastic. And you know what? I can really get behind them. They really do have my respect. They're actually really nice guys. But first and foremost, they are players. So they are actually fans of the genre. They've been, some of them obviously, you might know, worked for Red Dragon and all that. Wargame Red Dragon, that is. Yeah, they are actually good players as well. So we held a tournament on the Lima server, and yeah, the devs actually won it, and against some pretty good teams. They beat us. It was close, of course, because I'm amazing, but no, they actually beat us fair and square. So yeah, it was a close, good game actually. They so it's very rare to see devs that are actually very very good at the game that they make. So yeah, it's very nice to see. Loitering ammunition. So this is when we talk about yeah, when we talk about the drone kind of stuff. The rules we can intercept. Yeah, basically don't get your hopes up. That will be very far away. A Middle East campaign. God, you're talking about decades away. I mean, look how slow they publish units that have been in the game for 2 years. We're going to be talking for a long, long time about that. Yeah, China again. God, people are naive. I mean, yeah, a map editor, map making section is basically impossible. So that is again, obviously I've started a campaign, which you know what, let me just quickly show you that. So here we go. I've started a campaign called Make BA Great. Maybe I should say again because the betas and the when the game first came out, it was great, right? Okay, make BA great again. I wonder where I got that slogan from. Lol. Right. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, Nuketown in BA. Like, come on, this was sick, and obviously it'd be so fun to do if people had mods like map editor and stuff. But yeah, that is not going to happen for a very very long time. Maps are a problem because there's so many glitchy, buggy line of sight issues in a lot of the maps. Vehicles get stuck on bridges. It is pretty awful, actually, fucking terrible, diabolical, mate. Some of the issues that the Broken Arrow maps do face, which is unfortunate. Yeah, and look, there's many other things that I'm going to be other features, but if we just had just a bit of fun, a legendary bit of fun like this in the game, it'd be very nice. Anyway, back to this. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, another bit of disappointing news. Right, Baltic Battalion questions. That is gonna happen. Well, ships. Now, okay. Here's the thing. Like a very long time ago, 5 years ago, Suryoga, the one of the founders of the company, he said that there will be no fleet whatsoever. But it looks like there's a lot of demand for it. And rubber boats. I agree with patrol boats. Larger ships. I I'm starting to disagree here because a ship is like an entire. A ship can be a lot of things. It's not just one cruise missile carrier. It's got guns. It's got PVADs. It's like sea whiz. It's a ship has so many tools that unless you make the price like 5,000 points, it's OP. So you're not just gonna have a ship floating in Baltisk, for example. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work like that. But it could be a system where you call in, yeah, yeah, ballistic missiles or cruise missiles, stuff like that. Like instead of getting a Nighthawk to do it. But by the way, of course, a Nighthawk can be shot down. It's OP to have a ship that cannot be destroyed off the map, spawning in cruise missiles. And let's be honest, we should just have way less cruise missile spam. But little things like patrol boats and rubber boats, like ribs, yeah, absolutely should be in the game. Yeah, fleets are strategic asset. Yeah, a fleet is an entire army, but like one ship can be an entire army base. That's how much firepower a ship has. So there we go. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the bookers. Just read that one yourselves. Overkill mechanic. Now, yes, yes, but there is a lot of bug and exploit potential. I think they're working on it, and wink, wink, it's going to be all right. Cool. A few years down the line, added most of the major and minor countries. Do you imagine yourselves releasing a massive DLC in a sandbox? Yeah, yeah. Who thinks of these questions? Look, come on, be realistic. 10 years is ambitious. It's gonna be like 20 years. There's so much stuff. Like, Obviously, China is going to be the next big one in 2027. That's a year away. A year is a very long time. Again, just for units. Like, remember, it's not like the game that's changing. It's not like literally you're just making unit models. It doesn't really take that long. Yeah, okay, you can balance it and stuff like that, but it really isn't that hard. Like research takes a while, but yeah, it's really not that difficult. Anyway, so slow. Very painfully slow. But yeah, I think Germany might be one of the next countries after. They'll have to go for Europe, right? So they're obviously going to release China as a faction. The Russian specialization should, I doubt it, but should come out this year. And then China next year. So when will Germany, Britain, France, all those European countries that can go with the Baltics nicely, hand in hand, to make a European faction? Yeah, we're going to be waiting a very long time indeed, gentlemen and ladies. We're going to be waiting a very, very long time. But it's really cool that the public test environment will be happening because have they given us a date or anything? April. Okay, yeah. April will be a public launch, so there we go. Public information for the public testing. Still quite a while away, and I think it's going to be a long time before we actually get some really good fun on Broken Arrow. Like I say, I think the future game will be like I think the game already is the best RTS out there, but it's going to be even better. I can't wait for that. But is there anything Yeah, randomness of maps. They've talked about this for many times before. Yeah, they will eventually have random objectives, spawn points, etc. Not random, but like a variety, which is really cool. Uh, yes, that's a good question. No, that isn't a good question. I thought that question was going to be, can you have, some vehicles with a Hellfire, some vehicle with a Stinger, and some with just guns, like the Killer Eggs, for example. I think the answer is no. Really annoying. Some more leaked information right here. Are there plans for more infantry-friendly ammo supply? Yes, beta branch. Okay, so there we go. Vehicles are going to have infantry-friendly ammo inside of them. Very good stuff. So they're a bit vague here. Yeah, but I think that's what it means. So there we go. Good stuff right there. And some other bits and bobs. Are you going to have the ability to jump out of an osprey? And yeah, that is a very, very good thing. No, but they're going to add fast rope animations. Now that is something that is, again, it's one of those things about make BA great again, like a bit like Nuketown, where it's not essential, but it just makes it legendary. And if you have things like fast roping, again, not essential. Like a nuke is not essential for the game, but it is legendary. And having stuff like fast roping is going to be pretty damn cool, especially on yeah. You can just make there's so many opportunities there, so many like cutscenes and like just if you try and do Broken Arrow Special Forces kind of stuff, room clearance, all that. Yeah, that's going to be super cool. Now, are there any plans? Now, I actually really want to know the answer to this. So, a radar vehicle. So, a vehicle which will just be radar and a vehicle which will just be SAM. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do this because it's just not going to work in Broken Arrow. Like, unless you have all the vehicles permanently together in a formation, that's not going to work. You're going to need like the vehicles. You can't move them at the same time, etc. So, yeah, they're always going to have it in a single unit right there. Like I say, if you want all the details, then absolutely click the link in the description. Oh, wait, what was that summer normally? Will the next spec be released after you release the Baltic? This summer normally. I think they want to say hopefully. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. By the way, they do have so many skins that, yeah, were perhaps in the beta but aren't in the game. I don't get why they don't just monetize it, cosmetic things only. They could make so much more money, and if that's what it takes to make the game better, then I'm all for it. I don't really like, things getting overly monetized, like, like premium vehicles or premium weapons, stuff like that. I absolutely hate that idea, which is what DLCs essentially are, in all fairness. But What I mean is like the premium ammo that you used to get in that tank game, World of Tanks, right? Premium ammo that you pay extra to have much better ammo for. Ridiculous, right? We're not going to have anything like that. But things like skins, just like a camouflage scheme, then yeah, you could make a tidy sum of profit on that. Anyway, like I said, I'm just highlighting here the things that I think are the most important and the things that are going to be, yeah, pretty essential for the game. I'm also glad that they actually finally delved into a bit of the harder, more interesting questions. Now, again, I think they've dodged some of the super hard questions, and like there's not much accountability from the devs or the publisher, whatever you want to. Yeah, they are two different teams. There's not much accountability for their pretty poor performance, to say it politically, diplomatically. But yeah, like the only thing is that they've done a thing as an olive branch in the right direction because people were super unhappy with the stream. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Love you lots. Bye bye.